Okay, hey everyone, I'm just gonna get this quickly out of the way. This is gonna be my first battle song video and I'm still quite new to flipping. I'm about 3 months in, so if my flipping is shit, you know why. But anyways, let's get to the video. So today I just want to share my thoughts on the Machinewise Sasori. Now the reason I want to make a video on this knife in particular is because, firstly, I have been looking forward to getting it for so long, and now that I have my hands on it, I'm really happy. Secondly, for the past, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, I've been trying to find videos on it and I just could not. So there are some nice ones, right? Like one being from Blade Bias, but there just wasn't enough information on it, so I would like to help out with people who want to maybe buy a Sasori in the future. So anyways, let's get to how the Sasori flips. Or maybe not that first, let's talk about the looks. Firstly, the copper anno, amazing. I love the color. It's different from anything else in my collection, right? So I have the Superfly, which is not anode, I have the Corvus, which is green, and the wing, which is blue. And this being copper contrasts really nice. And this just kind of looks amazing in the sun if you haven't seen it. Now, secondly, this trainer blade sparked a little controversy. Some people I know really didn't like it, so if I remember correctly, Ethan from Blade Bias and Brendan Baker did not like this. I, personally, really like it, and I might like it more than how the Prisma blade looks. That's because I really like this katana style shape, right? So the shape really fits because, well, the Sasori and Tottori have Japanese naming conventions. So, you know, I like it, it fits, I'm a fan. Okay, now let's get to flipping. So I think the Sasori flips pretty great. Now it ships by default with the lightweights, the pocketed weights, which are fine I think, but they do lack a bit of end weights. So what does that mean? Basically it meant that whenever I was doing a rollover or a chaplain, it tended to try to fly out of my hands. Even now with the heavy weights, it still flies if I chaplain too fast. Like that. But I think now it's much less of a problem. The heavyweights I think is a much better option for the most part. It does make it slightly more handle bias. If I'm not wrong, by default, the Sasori is slight blade bias, and with the heavyweights, it is neutral, which I can definitely feel. Anyways, yeah, flipping with the Sasori, not bad at all. It feels pretty smooth. It is kind of small though, which is something that I want to highlight, which makes it kind of, I guess, unsubstantial, I guess. So I can, oh shit, Jesus. So I can compare this to something like the Corvus, which is also kind of small. So Machinewise did make it clear that this is smaller than their Marin knives, right? So it's smaller than the Prisma, the Marin, the Seraph, the Opus. But what they didn't mention is that this is smaller than most battle songs in general. So the Corvus is known to be kind of short, and this has basically the same dimensions, except the handles on this are even thinner than the Corvus. If I compare it to a more normal battle song like the Battlist Wing, you can see handles are a bit shorter. The blade is about the same size, but the handles are shorter, and I think you can definitely feel that when you're flipping. Not that it affects me negatively, I think I really don't care about the length of the handles, but it is something important to note. Other than that, for flipping, I think it flips pretty well. In particular, it fans extremely well, which I can't show because I fucking suck. So if I can maybe get it to fan, palm fan, fans pretty well, choker fan. I can't choker fan for the life of me. But yeah, anything with a fan, right, the Sasori does pretty well. And I just fucked up a Z choker. Great. Yeah, so the Sasori flips pretty well. For the price, I'm not sure whether it flips that well compared to some other stuff. I don't really have a lot to compare it to, but let's take maybe the Corvus again. So the Corvus, I believe, was about $100 cheaper than the Sasori. So this is 120, I believe, or was, you can't get it anymore, but this was 120 and this is 220. Mine was 200 because it was a blend model, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, I think these two flip kind of similarly, to be honest. So what do I mean? So the problems with the Sasori, with the end weight, I think the Corvus shares the same issues. not exactly issues, right? I don't think they are issues. Some people might see them as issues. I think it's just personality, but something important to bring up anyways. So I think the Corvus and the Sasori flip quite similarly, and the Corvus is much cheaper. Thing is, you can't get this anymore, so you know the price range isn't really filled by something like this anymore. But point being, I'm not sure whether the Sasori is completely worth the price. I think it is decent value, but not as good as something like my wing. So the wing is also 7075, just like the Sasori. I believe the blade is also 440C, but this is also $120, and it comes with spare hardware and a T10 bit. On the other hand, oh, and also the case from Novelis, which is pretty cool. On the other hand, the Machinewise Sasori comes with a nice little box, which I love by the way, a QC card, the weights over here, and a sticker, which is really cool. But it is not as complete of a package as the Sasori. The Sasori is not as complete of a package as something like the wing. And I don't think that's a huge problem, it's just not as competitive as what I believe the Prisma and Prisma Pro was, since the Sasori is more expensive than both of those. Now, do I think it is worth the price in the end? Yes. Maybe not as good of a value as what Novelis has, but it is still a passable value. Flips good, sounds good, looks good. I think something that you should get if you have the money to burn. I think other than that, there's not much else for me to say on the Sasori. I think it flips pretty decently. Not that I can tell, because once again, I kinda suck. Let's see whether I can even hit this. Oh my god, I just fucked up a whip rollover, no way. Chaplain, ring finger chaplain, palm fan, maybe a slap transfer. Okay, we got those. But yeah, I think the Sasori flips good, looks good, sounds good. Oh, and the tune is amazing. I mean, listen to it. No play, no tap. It's not even wiggling, it's amazing. But yeah, I think the Sasori is a decent value. If you have the money to spend, I would recommend you to pick it up. But just be aware that it is shorter than normal bellies, and it lacks a bit of end weights. Not that they are bad things, just something that you really should take note of. But I think other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys would like me to make any videos on, say, the wing, the Corvus, the Superfly, please do tell me. But yeah, other than that, that's it. See ya.